a major day. It's a wonderful day. It's a blessed day, and I'm glad to be with you all this afternoon. I need you guys on my social media platforms to please share this with someone. It's going to be a great show. Um, if I could say this, it's it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Some good things and some bad things, but it's a lot going on. And what we're going to talk about today is I want to give you 4 ways to deal with your painful life moments. So again, the topic for today is 4 ways to deal with painful life moments. And as you do this, I want you to share it. I want you, if you got a pad, pen, because I really want to give you something practical today. I want to give you some things that really help me deal with some life moments because we all have them. We all have them, and we can't shy away from these situations, these life moments, because honestly, none of us live in a dream world. And what I mean by that is, um, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So see, we don't want to say the enemy, but there's just the elements. They don't want you to succeed, but we're going to succeed anyway. So again, welcome to Speak Out Loud radio show. And I'm going to jump into this today. So we're talking about 4 ways to deal with painful life moments. So there's a quote that I was doing some research last night for the show, and it's from Helen Keller. Um, wonderful writer. I mean, she's no longer with us on this earth, but she really had some really great things to say. And this quote really spoke to my life. It really did. And I kept reading it over and over and reciting it to myself. So the quote says, although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming it. So I'll read it again. Although the world is full of suffering, it is for also to overcome it. That means to overcome your own particular, your own personal suffering. So even though there's a lot going on in your life right now, even though there's a lot of things that's trying to or pulling is some area that you can overcome the worst times in your life. And that's what we want to talk about. So we all have suffered pain in some way and somehow, some unbearable pain. I mean, if I had a chance to talk to you, some of you today, I know you can tell me you've had some really big emotional moments. You've had some experiences. Some were treacherous, some of that emotional pain. We don't really like to talk about it. I'm talking about men, women, boy, girl. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter your color of your skin. We all have had some kind of emotional pain that a lot of us, nobody will really understand. If I had the time to really tell you what I deal with on a daily basis in my mind, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. But the reason why I talk about this today, because I really want to help you. I want to help you get somewhere, right? Some of us, if we can be honest, if we can keep it a buck, some of us are still dealing with some of this pain. Some of us are dealing with pain from past relationships or relationships that we're in right now. Some of us are dealing with family decisions. Some of us are dealing with parents that are sick, children that are sick. You might be, dealing with some sickness, mental health. See, we like to deem everything mental, but mental health is a real thing. Whether you believe it or not, it's a real thing. But all those things that I gave you the example, including myself, we all have to learn is, and this is my statement for this show, life is going to be life. Life is life. Because life happens to every one of us. Nobody is exempt, right? We all have situations that, if we could be honest, that we were not prepared for. You've been through some situations for in your own life that you just wasn't prepared for because you didn't know that it was coming. You just didn't know that life moment was coming to you. That's why it's very important, and I'm going to say this, that we prepare our lives not for trouble, of course, but when things do come, that we can brace ourselves in the best way that we can because we don't know what's going to happen. So if we're not built up emotionally, if we're not built up psychologically, if we're not built up even spiritually, seriously, if we're not feeding ourselves the right way, just for example, if you're not feeding yourself right the right way with what you're eating, that you're putting in your body, your body's going to start deteriorating. Your body's going to break down because you're not feeding it what you're supposed to be feeding it. Same thing in your mind. If you are hanging around people, or in this case that we're talking about today, if you allow that life moment to get to you, it's going to get to you. And I'm not saying that I haven't had situations in my life that haven't got to me, but I had to learn how to deal with it in the best way that I could. And I'm going to give you those things in just a few moments, but I really had to kind of give you some foundational truths that we don't really like to talk about sometimes. Pain hurts. Pain hurts. There's a lot of books out there on tell you, and they're great books, great reads, great information, right? And we should gather those books. We should get that information and apply it to the best of our ability. But let's be honest, even after we read, we got to make a decision. We have to make a decision for ourselves on what we are going to do when life hits us with that brick. Life hits us with that hurricane and that tornado of emotions. We got to do our best to work around those things. And I want to ask you a question. How have you planned to be better? What plan are you putting in, and how are you executing that particular plan? Could you say that you could have been more prepared? Yes, we all can say that we could have been more prepared. But the biggest thing that I can say to really prep yourself for and to deal with life moments, you got to deal with it when it happens. Well, before it happens, you got to make sure that you're secure in yourself, because we don't know what's going to happen next. And I know this is not the most popular radio session to do this in, but people are hurting. Families are hurting right now. People are going through a lot of stuff, and they won't tell you. I'll be honest. So I had a good friend of mine that I grew up in church with, right? Some of the things that that person told me absolutely blew my mind. This is just a few days ago. Blew my mind. Because, like, you don't know what people go through unless they say something to you. And a lot of people don't want to, expose themselves because they're hurting so much. They rather just keep it to themselves, or they'll, as we use this term, but I don't want to use this term like lightly, but they self-medicate. Yes, some people drink, some people sex it up, they do all these other things, but a lot of times people just take it, and they keep, and they harbor that pain in, and they don't go to the right source, or they don't go to the right people to release those particular things I offer them, so that they can not just feel better, but be better. Because it's one thing to feel better for a moment, but to be better overall, that's the difference. So I'm hoping you're enjoying what I'm saying. I feel like they're nuggets. I feel like I'm giving you nuggets. I just want you to know that you can make it. I do this show because it's not about me. It's about you growing. It's about your family growing. It's about our community growing as a whole. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds good. This sounds great. You probably give me a little hat. a clap, and that's great. Thank you. But you might be saying, well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do for the last 6 months? I've been down. DMP Speaks. What do you say to that? What do I say to that? I say this. Again, nobody can prepare you for what's next, but you have to go inside yourself. You got to look inside yourself and say, even though I'm dealing with this situation right now, even though I'm dealing with this problem right now, things are going to get better. Like, you literally have to say that to yourself every day until things change. It's called affirming, affirmations. You got to say it until it happens. You got to believe it until it happens. And it don't even look like it's going to happen. But that's just something that we have to talk about, which is faith. You got to have faith. See, we try to, can I say this, Frank? We try to leave God out of everything, but he's a part of everything. And I was just having this conversation, and I just got some encouragement the other day. Sometimes, it's good to be practical and give the education and the motivation and all that. That's great. But I believe there are times that we have to be honest with ourselves. There's another level to this, right? And that another level is working on our spirit man. Because let's be honest, let's keep it a buck. We got some things that are inside of us, and that's why when life moments happen, we can't brace ourselves like we should, because we got so much in us that we got to get out. Got a lot of malice, we got a lot of jealousy. We don't know how to forgive. I could go on and on, but I ain't got that much time. But I just want to let you know that whatever is coming at you or towards you, you got to prepare yourself. But you got to prepare yourself mentally. You got to get your mental right, your mental state right, your emotional. And I'm talking to women and men. Psychologically and spiritually, you got to prepare for your next, because as long as you have breath in your body, you got next. There's something better that's coming after this. You're not going to be in this rut forever. You're not going to be in this situation forever. So you got to prepare yourself for what's next. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm sitting in next. You're sitting in next. But sometimes we don't really, because we can't see it with our own eyes or our glasses, our sunglasses. We can't see what's about to happen. That's going to be great for us. And we have to be able to see better coming. Yes, I understand at the moment, that's all you see is your troubles. That's all you can see is these things. You see these issues, right? You feel like you're on the brink of the destruction. But your life problems will not destroy you. Let me repeat. Your life problems will not destroy you, because you are stronger than what you believe. Now, if you believe that you're less than, that's something that's internal. That's something that you got to work on internally. But you are better than where you were before. These life situations going to happen. And if I could be transparent for a moment, and I'm going to give you the raw dog today. When I lost my father in 2020, and I lost my sister just last year, man, I'll be honest with you. I felt like quitting. These past few years have been hell, and I have been pissed off. Yes, I am a man of God. I love the Lord, but I have been angry at God. I've been frustrated, and I didn't know where else to turn. I felt like quitting life at times. I felt like giving up. Can I be honest again? I felt like stop going to church. Just gonna be honest. See, we gotta be honest with ourselves with where we are. So we just can't go and go out of habit to the house of God and not be real with the one that controls our lives. You got to be honest. I felt like giving up. I felt like shutting the doors of my business. I felt broken. And as a man, I felt broken. I felt angry. I already said I was pissed off, but I was frustrated. I was sad. I was emotional. But then I was happy because I know that they weren't in pain anymore. But that life moment and those life moments, I felt like, if I could say this, and I will, it set me up for success. You know why? Because of all the memories that I had with both of them. It's like they were preparing me for their departure without telling me that they were going. Because I had to build myself up enough to say, you know what, you can do this. I might not be here, but we have instilled enough in you, David, that you're going to be just fine. And it hurts like hell for them not to be here anymore. But I promise you, because they're not here, I'm going to do everything that we talked about. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to help thousands of families. And I'm not boasting on myself. I'm boasting on God. I'm boasting on my family, because I know what we had to endure to get out of our certain ruts that we were in. And I was in a rut. I was just in a rut this week, because grief doesn't have a timetable. Grief does not have a timetable. You got to push yourself over and over. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip a little bit, have some other stuff. I want to just give you these 4 things, and then I'm going to get out your way because of the time. And I hope that you guys are enjoying this, and please share this on my social media platforms and let people know that I'm here. I'm here to help. One of the things that I want to talk about is, and I feel led to talk about this really quick. One of the things that I really had to work on, this is one of the four ways to deal with life moments. I had to pray. Let me sip on this for a second. Guys, I had to pray. I had to be honest with God. I had to tell God, listen, me and you good, but right now I'm angry with you. I'm very upset. I had to spill my guts, but I couldn't hold back. No, I wasn't disrespectful, but I had to cry and say, I don't get this life moment right now. Why would you take them at the pinnacle of my life? I'm only 38, 30, almost 39 in July. You take them now when I feel like I needed them. Still feel like I need them. Still don't understand it. I push myself every day, not in an unhealthy way, but in a healthy way. I can say, sitting here on this radio show, talking to you all and empowering and pouring into you, I will be healed. I will be healed. It's going to happen. What I'm saying is, when you pray, you have to be honest with yourself and where you are at that particular moment, because God already knows where you are anyways. So why not talk to your father and be honest with him? Why not talk to your daddy God? Why not just be honest and say, this is where I am. I'm a wretch undone. I'm sorry if I feel like I'm preaching, whatever you want to call it, but we got to be honest with ourselves where we are, so that we can grow where we are, so we won't stay where we are. Does that make sense? You got to pray. Can't be cookie cutter with God. You got to be honest, but you got to make time. If there's some life moments, if your family is living in hell, there's time. You can't be cute with this anymore. You can't be cute with it. You got to open your mouth and say, God, I need you. I'm struggling right now. This life moment feel like it's about to take me out. It's either going to take me out or I'm going to take it out, which you should. But sometimes you just need that push. So I'm encouraging all. This is number 1. Pray. Set some time up. Turn the social media off. Not now. I'm just messing with y'all. But make time for him, because it's only going to help you grow. So I'll leave that alone. I'm done preaching to you. The second one is stay firm. I stayed firm to my principles and my beliefs. I just knew if I kept going, I was going to make it. Let me repeat that. That makes sense. I knew if I kept going, I would be able to make it. But I knew if I stopped, I know I knew I wasn't going to make it. But I had to rely on my principles, and one of my principles is I had faith. I relied on my wife. Shout out to Brownie. She know who she is, my baby. Love you. My children, my child, family members, good friends. But I had to rely on my personal principles. What did I believe in? What was I going to stand on? Right? I had to rely, like I said, on God, and I had to rely on my family, but I had to stick to my principles, and I could not waver. You know why? Did I get upset? Yeah, I've already said that. But I had to stick to my guns. I had to stick to my principles. I'm not going to waver. I'm not going to let these situations get me down, not even any lower. Because some of you are feeling like you're at your bottom right now. You feel like you're at your bottom, and it sucks. It's a bad feeling. But I'm telling you, stick to the principles. Stick to what helped you before, because I know you can do it. I believe that you can do it, but you got to stick to your principles. That's number 2. Number 3 is rewrite how you see it. So I had to rewrite what was in front of me. I had to rewrite what I seen. You got to rewrite what it looks like, what you want your life to look like, even with this life moment that happened, even with this disappointment that happened. You got to rewrite it. I'm telling you, if you sit down and really look at your life and say, you know what? I got these situations going on. It's a real thing. It's a real feeling. But I'm not only going to come out of this good, I'm going to come out of it a different person. Because I'm not going to quit, and you can't quit. There's some revisions that you got to do in your life. And listen, as my mother teach me all the time, you got to do what you got to do. She used to say that all the time, and I never really understood that. Now I got it. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do it. And the last one is, and I'm going to let you go after this, learn how to move on. Let me take a sip on that one. Learn how to move on. I had to learn how to move on. Now, moving on does not mean that you forget about that person or how they treated you or that situation. But you have to learn how to move on, not for them or that situation, but for yourself. Because my entire existence, my future had a lot to do with me. If I'm going to allow these deaths that hurt like crap to stop me, or am I going to be empowered because I know they live the best life that they can live, and I have to do the same because there are people that are depending on you, sir, ma'am. There are people in your life right now, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't know, but you know, that are counting on you to be the best version that you need to be for yourself. And after you get yourself together and you're developing yourself and you're pushing yourself and you're finding your peace and you're finding yourself, then your family, your children, your grandchildren, your husband or your wife, your friends, your church, whoever is around, whoever you're impacted, they're going to feel the remnants of that. Because you learn how to move forward. You learn how to maneuver. You learn in this life moment that I'm not going to let this moment get me, but I'm not going to let the moment of opportunity and growth and resilience passed me by. Because let me say this to you, no notes. You can do this. If you haven't heard this before, I'm telling you this afternoon, this Saturday afternoon, you can do this. There is nothing that you can't do. If nobody else believes in you, I believe in you. Because you do have what it takes to overcome this life moment, how to deal with this life moment. I can say so much more, but I feel that this is a good place to stop. I appreciate your time. I hope that I said something to encourage you this afternoon, because if we can't help one another, we're not good for no one else. We got to be able to help one another. And I want you to become the best version that you can be for you and your family. Listen, if you are in need and your family is in need of services as far as reconnecting to your family, and you're just having those issues and you want to reconnect back to your children, your grandchildren, you guys are just so separate. I want to be that bridge. I want to be that person. I'll be the middleman, because this is my life's work. This is my purpose, to bring your family back together. Allow me to do that. I want you to go, if you're on my social media page, I want you to go and click on the link in my bio and sign up for your free 30-minute consultation call, or you can call the station. They can get in contact with me, because listen, we got to find out and find a better way that we got to connect our families, because we want, and I want your family to be better. I want you guys to be whole, and I want you to be resilient, because you're going to be able to overcome these life moments. That's what I believe. Peace. This is DMP Speaks coming to you. I am a board-certified Christian counselor. I'm also a life coach. I am a family restoration specialist. I help build, rebuild, and grow your family. Maybe you're having some communication problems. Maybe you guys are just yelling and screaming and you guys are just not getting along. And if you want access to me for your 30-minute consultation call, follow me on all my social media platforms. TikTok, Facebook at DMP Speaks. And if you go to YouTube and Instagram, it's at I am DMP Speaks. Download Fire 716 and click the link.
Are you ready to launch your business, but you don't know where to begin? Join the Iberio Business Center online program, which serves the Finger Lakes in Rochester, New York. The business course is offered in both English and in Spanish. Take advantage of the different speakers and their expertise throughout this course. The online program includes a pitch competition, which will assist you with funding for your business. For more information, visit iberio.org or call 716-418-4782.